Testing. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. I always have to check my microphone now that my battery is dying. Sorry about that. Let me clip the microphone here. Now here's the most important lens for your Fuji. And here it is right here. Oh my god, that lens has got no glass in it. And it's a Metabones adapter. Now if you got a bunch of old Canon glass, or I'm assuming in your case, if you're watching my fat ugly face, you got a bunch of Nikkor lenses, then this is the most important lens for you to have. Why is that? Well, I'm really good at manually focusing lenses. Been doing it now for nearly 3 decades, but when it comes to like f1.2 and f1.4, and I'll tell you the trick about how to do this in the next video, is still an issue. I mean, I can nail it, usually 8 times out of 10, but I'd rather nail it 10 out of 10, and it's not frustrating, but nailing manual focus isn't hard at all. But when you're talking about something where you got a depth of field of like meow, and you're standing about 8 feet away and you're looking through the viewfinder, and of course one thing that actually helps is like a 1.2 diopter magnifier, which I have on the back of my D810 and the back of my D700, not on my D750, because it kind of sucks. That magnifier for the D750 sucks. But it's still, an issue. So let's take an $800 camera and stick a $1,800 lens on it. That would be the Zeiss 35mm f1.4. Now, obviously, this lens on the Zeiss is in DX crop mode, basically a 50mm lens, 35mm times 1.5, so basically a 50mm lens. Now, I hate doing this, and I can't stand people that do this. I'd rather look through the viewfinder, but if I actually put this close to my face, let's put it at right at 1.4, okay? Also, something else that happens is, since the depth of field is so shallow, using focus peaking at a very shallow depth of field is helpful regardless, but nailing it there, and of course you can hit the back button for magnifying. Nailing it perfectly is just like child's play. Just child's play. So we're talking, nailed it. Of course I nailed it. Nailing it is just basically a 10 out of 10. It can just be done, no issue at all. So what's the point I'm trying to make? People are like, "Oh, get to the point. You flap your lips too much." And there we go. The point is that if you've got, for $100 for the Metabones adapter, as I've also mentioned before, you can buy non-AI lenses, which basically nobody wants, because you got to spend $40 modifying them to use the modern Nikkor. Nailed it once again. This particular lens at 1.4 has got a good bit of purple longitudinal chromatic aberration. But that is because of the capacitance of glass. As I mentioned in 2 prior videos, the transmissive properties of the glass are such that blue into the spectrum, no matter how well the lenses are made, have an issue where you have something really bright, like this white sticker against the black background of the rest of the lens, causes the issue of a spillover. But you can get those old lenses for really, really cheap. The non-AI Nikkor lenses for like 20-30 bucks a pop. And they're really, really well made. And so if you have a Nikon, I've got 2 of the ones. I've got one that also take the G series, which is $139. This is $100, and we'll take any of them, except for the G. You can't adjust the aperture on the G, so you have to have the G mount for that. But I'm using all Zeiss lenses and older Nikkor lenses with this Fuji. So here we got $2,000 sitting on the front of an $800 body. For $100, and this is also chrome-plated brass, and while it is made in China, and I generally hate things made, China does spit out some good stuff like Apple computers and a few other things, but this is actually extremely well made. I mean, it's got no play, no tolerance. I've heard that some of the really early ones years ago had issues, but they sure as hell don't have any issues now. So this is how you can really have a lot of fun, especially if you have issues nailing manual focus consistently, and even I do. I don't have issues nailing manual focus. I'm really good at manual focus, but even at f1.4 to f2, you know, depending on the lighting conditions and you know, how much caffeine I got in my system, you know, I'll nail it 8 times out of 10, but you know, the 2 times that I don't nail it might be an important shot that you know, I missed. I mean, you know, I don't want to chimp on every shot. And, you know, chimping on every shot gets to be a pain in the crotch. It's like, okay, I took the picture, but since I took it at f1.4, then I'm going to have to check the, I'm going to have to check it, make sure it was in focus. And they don't have to do that. You know, with focus peaking confirmation, I know that unless I did something really stupid like the weaving, and I'll show you how to take care of that, some sort of stupidity with weaving, that if I know I got it the time I took it with a decent enough shutter speed, then I know that I've nailed that ultra narrow depth of field. I'm going to check it for the hell of it, and of course, oh my god, I really nailed it. Of course I did. So you can have a lot of fun with these really fast lenses that you're not having right now. And for $100, this you know, I'm using a lot of Zeiss and Voigtlander, especially I love using the pancake Voigtlanders on this Fuji and my Fuji XT1. You know, wide open, because I've got no issues wide open. You know, even if I got a lot of caffeine in my system, I know I've nailed it, because not only have I got focus peaking, I can hit the back button, the main command dial on the XT10, or the focus on the XT1, and zoom in there and dial in, and I've actually got focus peaking where I can just nail it every time. So that, for $100, that's one hell of an awesome thing to have, and it's brought a whole lot of joy and fun to me, to be sure. Yeah, I got the camera off. I had too much caffeine this evening, excuse me. And why am I using Nikon lens caps on Fuji? Well, because Fuji lens caps are absolutely horrible. They are the worst on planet Earth. Like the $3 crap made in China is actually better than a Zeiss lens cap. But the point being, without me being verbose, which I've already done, is get a Metabones adapter. And most people, unless you're made out of money, you know, complain about having, you know, a good selection of lenses. They don't have to be Fuji lenses. I know you want autofocus lenses, but here's a nice idea. Buy one of these $100 Metabones adapters, and then, you know, buy a non-AI lens, a good one. You know, most, you know, about a half, well, actually more than half, about 60% of them are really good. Now, an issue with those old lenses is that some of them might have grease or issues with them. So make sure you don't get one. But still, the lens is going to run you $30. And so once you got the Metabones adapter, $100 will buy you like 3 nice lenses, because nobody else wants to buy those old damn lenses because they can't use them on a modern Nikon. But if you have a Nikon F mount to Fuji X mount, you can use those old lenses. And you could use the modern lenses too. Now, if you want to use the G series Nikkor lenses, you're going to have a G adapter, because it does not have an aperture ring on the lens. So there's another ring on the Metabones adapter that lets you adjust the aperture instead of it being on the ring, since it's not there on the G series lenses. So anyway, think about doing that, and check out the next video, and I'll give you a little tip on how to nail focus peaking at really radical apertures. Okay? Bye.